how I built a sustainable business, how I got high-paying customers, how I got consistent customers, I'm going to explain in this video by showing you how I combine business practices, faith, and science. So let's get into it. First, let me help you understand that I come from a high crime, low income environment where you don't know too many people who are successful at the level you want to be at. Or if you know them, they're so busy that you never get a chance to really communicate with them. How I was able to do it was by taking Alex Hormozi saying, you need to solve rich people problems, understanding faith, and then science, Dr. Joe Dispenza stating that our central nervous system can't take in any new information that we don't emotionally understand. I'm gonna put all three of these together by telling you a story. Coming from an environment like mine, I started a juice business, right? Inside starting that business, just like every other business that I started, I think to myself, what can folks afford? And I'm talking specifically family, friends, and community members. What can they afford? You think about the products in it. How can I stretch it so that, okay, so I'm thinking to myself, okay, if these juices are roughly like $5 a piece or $3 a piece, that should be good. So in my mind, I'm specifically looking at my community as my customers. And here's what happened. The first few months, folks are buying them up. So it seems like, yo, this is gonna be scalable. After a few months, things die off. And what I realize is that everybody in my community is in survival mode. They come out to support you at first because they want to support you. But after they've supported you, we go back into survival mode. I even noticed it about myself. Oh, I do go support, but then it's not that I'm no longer supporting, I'm just back to my regular everyday process. And so I started thinking about that, and Alex Hormozi said, you need to solve rich people problems. So I developed the Robin Hood mindset, is what I call it, where I take what's unique about me, add it to my business practices, because I'm into the film business, the marketing business. I take what's unique about me, which is understanding communities like mine, understanding people, and I go find who that's valuable to that can afford me at my highest rate, okay? And I do business with them, and then I bring those resources and that information back to my community. So my community can still get my services. I'm just not worried about really charging them crazy prices. The business is becoming sustainable because I now have consistent high customers. So the number one step is to not look at your community and family as your customer base. Just figure out how to add the most value with whatever this business is, and then go figure out who can afford that. That's number one. Now, number two, to bring it back to science and faith, is understanding that Dr. Joe Dispenza said our central nervous system can't take in new information that we don't emotionally understand. This means that all you know is your community. All you know is your family and your friends. So where do you go to find these new high-paying customers when you come from this environment? Where do you go? Maybe networking events, promotion online. Every answer that you come up with requires you fighting your central nervous system. And I will be specific. There have been networking events. There have been events where I knew my customers who would get value from me would be there. And everything about that event was saying, they probably don't want black people there. They don't want you. This ain't for you. What makes you think you can handle this big client? Everything tells you to go to your comfort zone and go back to your home community customers. Go back to trying to get your grandma's money. Go back to trying to get Miss Sally down the road who can't even afford her rent to be your customer. And so I had to begin fighting my central nervous system and telling myself, okay, I see what this is. Let me run towards it anyway. Let me address that insecurity or that anxiety. Let me address all of that. So here's my challenge to you is number one, knowing who you are as a business, what separates you, what's unique about you so that you can add the most value that others can't add. If you can solve somebody's problem, they are willing to pay for that. Once you can solve people's problems, right, you're going to begin noticing something about you that wants to fight you from going to these environments where your customer is. That's the central nervous system. This is when you have to sit down and address each and every feeling. I recommend therapy. Of course, I recommend prayer. I recommend all of whatever strategy you need to do to get past that, because remember, the central nervous system is your best friend that wants to protect you from what it believes is a threat. And what it believes is a threat is what's different than what your environment has created. So in order to meet these high-paying customers, these consistent customers, these luxury customers, you're going to have to fight the feelings that come up when it comes to engaging, connecting, and networking and building with these individuals. My name's Seth Whitted, author of Breaking Negative Cycles. I come from a community where I had to break many generational, family, environmental cycles, and I want you to do it too. Be the one in your family that changes things for the next generation and still show love. Don't be a sucker. Don't be a sellout. Just grow, spread love. Robin Hood. That's what I call it, Robin Hood.